Good Sunday morning. I'm Jaden Jefferson, and welcome to this week's Community Focus. I'm joining you here from Glass City Center in downtown Toledo, where Friday evening, Sunshine Communities celebrated 75 years here in our area. And I got to speak with the keynote speaker, and he's a pretty big deal. Take a look. What I find interesting about your visit here is that your mother, she visited in '63, and she met with Sunshine's founder. And now you return to the Glass City to a pretty warm reception. And so how does it feel?
Well, I'm very proud of what my mother did. She was a pioneer amongst pioneers when she was here in 1963, the anglers and all the people of faith, all the people who were volunteering in service organizations were revolutionaries in their own time. Sometimes we miss the story of, in the midst of so much change in the 40s and 50s and 60s, this is another community that unseated a lot of bias and a lot of systems of oppression and exclusion and created this kind of platform for welcome. So here I am, whatever it is, 60 plus years later, very proud to be in that tradition and very proud to be celebrating what we can do now in the future.
And we call it history because it is history, but the thing I don't like about the word history is that it makes it seem like it was so long ago.
Yeah.
When these things happen, where a lot of people that are on the earth right now, they were around when times were different. And so to see so much change happen, why is it important that we do look back for the future?
I think it's important so you get confidence. A lot of people look back in order to find the darkness and the pain and make sure we don't repeat it. I also look back to find the bright spots and the change makers so we can find out how to replicate it. These are people who managed to make a huge difference. We ought to celebrate that. What did they do? How did they do it? How did they put up these signs that say visitors welcome? What did we learn from that? How do we find ways to mobilize communities? They figured out how to do that. Everybody today is discouraged. Well, what can we do? Here's a place to come and learn. Not just to see what happened, but to see how to make new things happen.
So we're not helpless.
The one thing we're not is helpless.
Kind of talk about the fact that this is the 75th year of Sunshine. This is a big community celebration of that. And so what do you think the next 75 years are going to look like for Sunshine and its work just here in Toledo?
Well, I think we're in the midst of a major change in the way Sunshine thinks and operates. I think historically, we always thought of Sunshine as a place that was for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. I think in the future, we'll think about it as a place for people with intellectual disabilities, but we'll also think about it as a place to teach the culture a message from them. How to be includers, how to live with empathy, how to be able to take perspective, so you see the world through other people's eyes. How do you treat everybody with dignity? How do you have the moral courage to change things when they're wrong? These are lessons that are inside of Sunshine. We don't just want people to come in, we want Sunshine to come out and change the rest of us.
And I think my final question for you here is going to be about the fact that this year, obviously, it can be a divisive time talking about issues in general. And so to have something like this happen that's non-political, what do you think the message is for America? What exactly should people take away from the fact that people are just gathering here over a shared cause with no agenda? They're just here to celebrate Sunshine.
Well, I think they have an agenda. I think the agenda is treat everybody with dignity. And I think that's the agenda the country needs. I think that's the agenda our political leaders need to model. You don't have to disagree with hatred. You can disagree by treating people with dignity. You can learn and grow by listening to people's different points of views. You can understand more deeply where each of us is coming from by knowing our story of origin. You don't have to hate someone who you disagree with. That's an option, not a necessity. So I hope this is an event with an agenda, but the agenda is not a divisive one. The agenda is a unifying one.
And I like how you made that a positive word, because when people hear the word agenda, it gets testy.
Yeah. But I mean, I think we're at a point where everybody's looking. We talk about this starving and exhausted majority. Most Americans don't like the way things are. They're looking. Where are the role models? I say, you can look on the news, or you can look in the magazine rack, you can look on social media, or you can look in a room like this. You want to know role models who can change the country? They're right in there.
For sure. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for all the work you're doing.